Part 1. The Night His Eyes Found Me. People always say destinies begin in grand moments, on red carpets, in bright lights, under chandeliers dripping with silver. Mine didn't. Mine began on a Wednesday night, in a tiny, half-forgotten cafe that smelled like warm sugar and old dreams. The place was called the Golden Lantern, a soft little corner tucked behind Main Street, where music drifted through dim light like smoke. I sang there 3 nights a week, not because it paid well, but because singing was the only moment my heart felt bigger than my worries. On that night, my set was almost over. I'd already sung the soft, romantic songs the regulars liked, the nostalgic ones that made older couples hold hands across the table. My voice was tired, and so was I. I wiped my palms on my dress, a simple navy blue thing that made me feel like a star, even if no one else saw me that way. Then the door opened, and everything changed. He walked in like the night had carved a path for him. Tall, broad shoulders under a black coat, a presence that carried quiet gravity. His face was partly hidden by a hood and the dimness of the room. But I recognized him instantly. The way you recognize faces you've only seen in magazines or dreams. Robert Hale. Yes, that Robert Hale. The golden boy of Hollywood. America's romantic obsession. The actor whose eyes had caused more sighs than all the poets in the world combined. He didn't look like a star tonight. He looked tired, private, human, as if he was running away from something only his soul could name. He sat in the corner, head bowed, the soft glow of the lantern touching his cheek like it was greeting an old friend. My heart tripped over itself. What was someone like him doing here, in this tiny cafe, on a rainy midweek night? The owner, Mrs. Calloway, who pretended not to gossip but absolutely lived for it, leaned toward me backstage. "That man looks familiar," she whispered. I swallowed. "That's because he is." She gasped softly, hand over her heart. "Oh, good heavens! Do we need security? Is he shooting a movie? Should I hide?" I laughed quietly. He's probably just trying to be anonymous. And I didn't want to be the one to ruin it, so I pretended not to see him, but my heart didn't. Every time I looked up, my voice found a new softness, a sweetness I didn't know it had. I sang differently, deeper, fuller, letting every lyric melt through me. And each time, I felt his eyes lift, watching me, listening closely, the kind of listening people do when they're hearing something they didn't know they needed. When my set was done, I bowed lightly and stepped off stage. My hands were trembling, which was ridiculous. I wasn't the type to be starstruck, but something about him felt magnetic. Not because he was famous, but because he carried a quiet sadness, the kind that makes you want to hold someone without knowing why. I was about to slip out through the back when I heard his voice, deep, warm, smoother than velvet. "Wait." I turned. He stood there, close now. The hood of his coat lowered. His eyes, God, those eyes were as striking in person as they were on screen. Gray-green, like stormy water, deciding whether to calm or rise. Your voice, he said softly. It's beautiful. It felt like you were singing to something inside me. My breath hitched. Thank you. I'm Miley. Miley, he repeated, tasting the name like it was something warm. I know who you are. He gave a small laugh, the kind that held relief in it. Fair enough. For a moment, we just stood there, the air between us strangely alive. His presence wasn't loud. It was gentle but intense, the way a fire glows without crackling. He looked at me as if I wasn't a stranger, but someone he'd been searching for. Then Mrs. Calloway appeared behind the counter, pretending not to eavesdrop, with the subtlety of an elephant in heels. Robert cleared his throat. Can I buy you a drink? Or maybe listen to you sing again? I flushed. I'm done for the night. He hesitated, and then something softened in his expression. Then, would you sit with me? Just for a little while? I should have said no. I should have told him I had things to do, dreams to chase, boundaries to respect. But the truth was simpler. I wanted to know him. I wanted to hear the version of him the world could never touch. So I nodded. He exhaled quietly, almost gratefully, and led the way to his corner table. The lantern between us cast a warm glow, making the moment feel like it was taking place outside of time. Why are you here? I asked gently. He looked into his drink. I wanted to be somewhere the world wasn't. My chest tightened. And did you find it? His eyes lifted to mine. I think I did, when I heard you sing. The words wrapped around me like a slow, warm tide. We talked for hours about music, about films, but also about quieter things. What it feels like to be lonely in a crowded room. The heavy price of being known by everyone, but understood by few. The comfort of small places that don't ask for anything. His voice was soft. His laughter was rare but sincere. He listened to me with an attentiveness that felt dangerously intimate. At one point, his fingers brushed mine when he reached for his glass. A feather-light touch, accidental or maybe not. But the warmth of his skin lingered on me like a promise. You have something, he murmured, not taking his eyes off my hand. Something? I whispered. A way of making a person feel seen. My heart fluttered, a delicate trembling thing. And you, I said, carry a sadness you hide behind charm. He froze, surprised. Then he smiled, slowly, beautifully, with a hint of vulnerability. You're perceptive. I sing for people. I see things. He looked at me for a long time. So long I felt the air tighten. If I told you I wanted to see you again, he said quietly, would you believe me? I swallowed. I don't know. Then let me prove it. His voice tipped lower, warmer, brushing against my skin like a soft heat. Tomorrow, same place, same time. There was no arrogance in his tone, only earnest longing. I should have hesitated, but when someone like Robert Hale looks at you like you're the one thing he didn't know he needed, you don't walk away. Okay, I whispered. His smile deepened, and something in his eyes flickered, a spark, a hunger, a connection as undeniable as gravity. He stood to leave, pulling his hood up again. Miley, he said softly just before stepping out. "Tonight, you saved me a little." Then he disappeared into the night, and I was left standing there, heart trembling in my chest, knowing that nothing about my life was ever going to be the same again.